Well, with a population of 7.5 million, Chennai is India's fourth biggest city. It's famous for stunning temples like this one and, more recently, Stephen Fleming's Chennai Super Kings.
He's hit that. He's hit that a long way. A very long way.
Well, while Martin Crowe's Bangalore team were in Chennai, he caught up with his old mate Stephen Fleming to get his take on the IPL.
Flem, that's the 2007 Cuisine Bordeaux of the year for New Zealand. It's a Puri Hills 205, it's the reserve. It knocks your favourite Coleraine off the mat.
Well, it'll be a pleasure to drink in India, that's for sure.
And it's from Clevedon, which is just out of Auckland.
Oh, cheers, Hope.
The pull shot this time and all the way. He starts qualifying for the DLF Maximum Sixes Award.
How do you convey how big this thing is? I know it's on Sky at home, people are watching it, and maybe the crowds, continual full houses and the noise and the atmosphere, but it really is massive, Hogan. It's the biggest thing that's happened to cricket since the Packer series has been written about. But even I have been astonished by how big it is and the potential for this thing to grow. I don't know if it can get bigger than what it is now because it's just the hype. But to try and, when I go home, to try and tell people what this meant and what the Super King franchise is, and already it's got a fan base of millions, is just unfathomable, and it's almost in world sport because it's just such a big marketplace.
I've felt absolutely petrified in every game, and I have no control over what's happening, and I probably makes me very much not a proper coach because I think you need a certain temperament. Obviously want to get out there and do it, but that's always been my life. But to watch has been absolutely a nightmare. I've aged, I've lost more hair, I have not slept. I'm serious, I have not slept the entire trip. And I haven't laughed. I'm telling you. I said to you about half an hour ago, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. In cricket, which tends to dominate my life. So does that explain to people how big this is?
Some sort of context,
well, that's my story. Is it only a game? No.
It's close. The bowler's asked the question, he's given it. Dravid stepped in front. The Royal Challengers had it in their grasp.
I guess Rahul's probably the biggest casualty. Does he need to put himself through it? Is it going to be a case that some test players, just for the betterment of finishing their career well, and gee, I may even fall into that category. Last 3 games have been a bit better, but you get the feeling, man, do I need this? Do I need to be upskilling at this point where I've sort of said goodbye to international cricket and what I thought was the pressure cooker, stepped into this, which is another level of expectation, a new team.
Pregnant wife at home.
Pregnant wife at home, trying to prove yourself again with great players around you and trying to be the equal of a Matthew Hayden, which is ridiculous to try and prove that. And a lot of those, I had a lot of those feelings as well. And you feel, I guess now, from our franchise point of view, they've been very supportive, but you want to give a little bit back. So once again, you're starting from the bottom, trying to prove yourself and just make sure you're a worthwhile buy, which...
And the answer?
Jury's still out.
And the answer?
Well, I've enjoyed it. It was an attitude change where I was happy not playing, and it was to get paid this money and not play was great. But it's taken me probably 4 or 5 games to get up to speed.
And it is only 7 weeks.
It's only 7 weeks. It's all good.
And it is only, you're a long time retired.
Yeah. And I genuinely now feel the last 2 or 3 games, and I've played a bit for Nottinghamshire.
You've had too much downtime to think about all this.
You reckon?
Have you got out and about in Chennai?
We've got a couple of shopping malls which have which
With security with you?
KFC. No, no, we don't travel with security. But as I say, just down the road.
Nice shirts.
Peter Englander, our sponsor.
I've seen your advertising, because you're a great shirt collector, aren't you? Long sleeve shirt. You must have it, but 150.
I've culled a few. Yeah, the long sleeve shirt doesn't go down well over here, I've found, but without the Rexona. But it's just one trip.
Oh, what's going on? Oh, mate, you've got a hell of a system back here. This is too sound. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Jump check out and move your body. 1 in a million, girl, them look good. Them look good like city from Hollywood. And we dance for the rhythm and right. Everybody them a move inside. Everybody them a feeling the vibe. Good nights.
It doesn't.
My name is Anil Kumar. Would you mind?
Good nights.
You guys get a lot of presents. I know some of the franchises, Kolkata, who is Brendan McCullum's side, they get a present, win or lose, every match. I think there's
Win or lose?
Yeah, win or lose.
What do you get if you lose?
Well, they lost
For
to
example?
us. They lost to us. They got a PlayStation Portable. There's been laptops, phones.
The tournament's biggest prize, though, went to an inspirational Shane Warne and his Rajasthan Royals side, who picked up $1 million for winning the league.
Warney, revelation, just amazing. What a great captain. Still bowling beautifully. That caught and bowl the other night.
Hey, what could he have done for Australia, you think, if he had the chance, captaincy-wise?
It's pretty hard to, when you've got a great team like that, and you won 3 World Cups in a row and you won 2 lots of 16 Test matches in a row, he would have achieved that as well. He's a better thinker and more reactive tactician on the field than a Steve Waugh or a Ricky Ponting. I've got no doubt about that. Even in the 10 games I saw him captaining Australia in a one-day, he's just got an imagination, as we see with his bowling, that is second to none. I'd be proud, you'd be proud to see some of the stuff he comes up with spontaneously and instinctively on the field.
And not even Shane Warne could have scripted a better ending to the final.
Brace yourself for a run out. 1 run from 1 ball. He's gone for it. He's found the gap. Rajasthan Royals win. The Rajasthan Royals had to work extremely hard, but credit to Shane Warne. He didn't lose his grip.
Deserving winners of the first ever DLF IPL, because they were the best team in the league stage, and they've shown that they were the best team in this tournament with this win.
Because you're not a captain in this franchise, so you're sailing. How was your batting?
Batting's good. Batting's really good. I've had
Volume and intensity?
Got out to Astaris, which was touch annoying, but it's, as I say, I almost been trying to do too much.
Tell us about the game against Kolkata. Great win.
Yeah, great win. There'd been storms every night, and it was about 42. Like the temperature was, I think, 39 on the pitch game day. The day before, we had a fantastic storm, just And I openly said I love rain. Any occupation where it rains and you don't have to work is a great thing. And so I shared that story with the boys. We got off to a good start.
This time it goes through.
We were ahead of the run rate and the message came out that 3 or 4 bowlers had gone on one of the lights, which we hadn't noticed as a batting side.
We're going to have to wait for the lights to come back on.
And as we stood there waiting for them to come back on, the wind got up to Wellington proportions and there was thunder, lightning,
But
more
did you know
bolts.
that the 6 you hit off the last ball got you ahead in the Duckworth race? Did you have a feeling that
A 4, I had a 4, and we were 3 ahead. I knew what we had to get to. It was 52.
And the long and the short of it, Fleming and Patel are still going to continue.
The storm after that was just
Hilarious.
fantastic. This guy was very proud of being able to cover the whole ground. I was retelling stories of wins in Wellington where guys were breaking ribs trying to hang on to the covers. And they had 80 ground staff. And 30 or 40 of them would have been mid-air at one time.
it was over 20 covers?
Over 20 covers, the whole ground, 30 or 40 at one time in mid-air trying to hold these down. And our boys were watching and laughing and obviously hoping no one was going to get hurt, but we got ushered inside because there was a safety issue as the stands were getting ripped to shreds.
No less remarkable was Brendan McCullum's brutal destruction of Martin's Bangalore side, his 150 taking just 70 balls.
Were you proud of Brendan's performance?
Yeah, I sat next to him in the opening ceremony, up in the in the dressing rooms, and I said to Ross Taylor after about half an hour, I said to Ross, Mac is just completely and utterly jumping out of his skin. I said, what does that mean? He says, well, it either means it's going to be all over in the first over or he'll probably smash 100. And ultimately, of course, he smashed 150.
What a shot! What a shot!
That was a great start for him, for the IPL.
Not for opening batters around every other franchise who then had to try. And Hussey got a faster one the next game.
We've seen the whole tournament level out. Bowlers have come back, 3 hat-tricks in the last 12 games. It's not a batter's game. It's not a bowler's game. It's actually an even game.